Hi, and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this Friday evening. Storm Betty has descended, so hopefully you're keeping dry and safe. A nice practice today. We're kind of looking at the fundamentals of some of the poses, so we'll be doing some nice poses that you're very familiar with. So let us begin our practice today in a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall on your mat, closing your eyes. Allowing yourself to slow down and move into the present moment. Letting go of everything that's going on in your world. And just bringing yourself to your mat. Becoming aware of your own alignment, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening through your spine. Soften the shoulders. Release any tension. And then let your attention go to your breath. As you inhale through your nose into your belly, pause, and then exhale through your nose. Taking 2 more breaths here like this. And then when you're ready, gently opening your eyes and coming onto your mat in a kneeling position, if this is comfortable for you at this stage of your practice. If not, you can come into a high kneel if that's more comfortable. So from here, taking a breath. And again, having ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, nice long spine. Let's lift up onto the knees, raise the arms up, straight up over the head. And then lowering down into a tabletop, rising up into a cat. And then bringing it through to a cow. And pushing back into a nice relaxed pose. And then once again coming back to kneel. And inhale, rising up. Exhale, coming down into your cat. Inhale through to cow. And exhale all the way back to child's pose. And once again, coming to kneel. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, coming into tabletop and cat. Inhale through to cow. And exhale down to child's pose. Let's run through that 3 more times, focusing on your breath, moving in your own time with your own breath.
last time. And then from here, let's make our way back up into tabletop. So checking in, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Nice active hands here. And let's raise the left arm all the way up. Following it with your gaze, let's hold it up here. Taking a breath. And then drawing the hand down, let's take it to the other side, raising the right arm up, taking a breath. And drawing the hand down, and again taking it over to the other side, left arm up. And then right arm up. Once more on each side. Really reaching it up, feeling like your arms are almost like in a straight line. And the right arm. And bringing it back down, so you're back in your tabletop again, nice and active in the tabletop, so pressing away from the mat, having the tops of your fingers, so the kind of pads on your fingers nicely engaged with the mat, almost like you're clawing at it, so it's kind of almost like that, so that your fingers, your knuckles are slightly raised off the mat. Nice and active. And then from here, we'll take it into a downward dog nice and slowly. So curling those toes, push the hips back to the heels, raising the knees slowly, making your way up. And pedaling your way in as you just allow those legs to begin to stretch out. Pushing the hips back, keeping those hands nice and active. Lengthening through the spine, gaze towards the belly button. And when you're ready, coming to stillness, wherever that is for you. And let's take 3 breaths here. And then let's just step forward into a forward fold, bend your knees, coming up to stand at the top of your mat. And from here, looking down at the feet, equal weight on both feet as you stand up nice and tall, lining up the body, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. And bringing the hands onto the hips, let's step the right leg back as far back as you can to come into your warrior one. So again, remember we want this left knee directly over the left ankle, just being aware of it, that it stays solidly over it, not tilting inwards or outwards, but directly over it. And just notice the angle that you have here at your knee, because you want to maintain that angle all the time. So sometimes what happens to us when we're in the pose is we tend to just kind of open out the angle a little bit, and that puts more pressure onto the knee and less action going on in the quad, which is where we want the action to be. So keeping that nice bend in the knee, try to keep it consistent with the back foot Put a little bit of weight in the outside edge of that back foot so you really feel the stretch in that back leg. And let's square up the hips as much as you can. You'll just feel that extra stretch on the calf as you do that. Raising up the arms as they run past the ears. Softening the shoulders. And let's take 3 breaths here, maintaining this pose and engaging the core with each exhale. And then drawing the arms down, bring the hands onto the hips. Just check in with the leg. Did you manage to keep it in the same place? And step this right foot forward up to the top of the mat. And let's take that over to the other side. So starting off with the correct stance up at the top of the mat. Feet hip width apart, nice and level with each other. Weight nicely distributed across them. And let's now step the left leg back. And we'll work first of all on the front leg, the right leg. So you want your big toe actively pressing into the mat, which will just ensure the arch of your foot stays raised. And that knee nicely over the ankle, taking note of that angle at the knee. And then with the back foot having the outside edge of the foot nicely connected to the mat, and square up the hips, feeling that nice stretch of the leg. And then from here, if you're feeling a little wobbly, just widen out the stance. Draw the arms up, soften the shoulders. Let's take 3 breaths here, engaging that core with each exhale. And then drawing the arms down by your sides, let's step that back foot up to the front to meet that front leg. Good. Okay, and taking it from here into a tree pose. So let's turn that left foot out at a right angle. Remember, what we want in a tree pose, so you're kind of, if you put your hands on your hip joint, you'll notice that as your foot is facing forward, so your hip joint is straight down, when you turn your foot to the side, you open your hip out. And that's what we want to happen in our tree pose. So we want this knee at a right angle to the standing leg so that your hip is nice and open. So don't worry about how high up you get your foot on your leg. That's fine. Just keep it away from the knee, but it can be on the calf or it can be on the thigh, whichever you prefer. But focus on keeping that knee at that right angle. Find your point of stillness. Coming into the pose, take a gaze point. Maybe raise your arms up and out. And let's take 3 breaths here, softening the shoulders, engaging the core. Keeping that knee at a right angle. And then when you're ready, bringing those hands together in prayer, releasing the foot down. Well done. Let's take that to the other side. So again, nicely weight on the left leg. Let's turn that right foot at a right angle and then raising the foot up onto the leg, either the calf or the thigh, whichever works for you today. Pressing that foot into the leg and the leg into the foot to get that connection. And then maybe raising the arms up and opening them out. And let's take 3 breaths here. Enjoying the stillness and focus that comes with this pose. And then drawing the hands together into prayer and releasing the foot down. And those balancing poses are just so important for us to practice, because having that balance can really save you from falls, from all sorts of things. So practicing those balances is so beneficial. So from here, let's keep those feet hip width apart. Raise the arms up over the head, past the ears. Let's just draw back, so it's as though we've got a big ball in our hands and we're reaching back. We're about to throw it forward, so we just reach back first, getting a nice back bend. One more breath here. And then let's take it into the opposite direction, so hinging at the hips as you draw all the way down into a forward fold. We're going to take 3 breaths in our forward fold and see how deep you can get. So we want to try and get this connection with the rib cage to the thighs. You can bend your knees as much as you need to work with your body. But with each exhale, just see, can you get a little bit deeper, just increasing that angle in the bend. And then from here, just walk the hands out. Allow the upper body to move away from the legs. So you've got a nice long back. And bend the knees. Come all the way up to stand, raising those arms up over the head. And then once again, drawing back into a back bend. And then slowly coming forward, bending through to your full forward fold. Nice and deep. And then drawing the upper body or the lower body away from the thighs to lengthen through the spine. Let the hands walk out maybe a foot or 18 inches away from your feet. And bend the knees. Let's come all the way up. Let's do that one more time. Arms straight up. Drawing back into your back bend. And then hinging at the hips as you fold forward. And then stepping those hands out to lengthen through your spine. And this time, step the hands back into forward fold. And let's step the right leg back into a low lunge. So really go for it. Stretch that right leg back as far as it can go. So you can really get a great stretch in this right quad. Same thing with this knee as we do in Warrior One. Keeping the knee directly over the ankle. Keeping that angle in the knee. Raise the arms up. Keeping the shoulders nice and soft. 2 more breaths here with each exhale. Again, engaging that core, drawing up the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And then let's draw the hands down either side of the foot, curling the toes on that back foot. We're going to step it forward to come into our forward fold once again. And then lengthening through the spine, walk the hands out. And forward fold once again. Each time trying to get just a little tiny bit deeper into that fold. And now let's step the left leg back. Again, getting as much as you can out of the pose, stretching that leg back as far as is possible for you. And raise the arms up, soften the shoulders. One more breath here. And again, let's frame the foot. Curl the toes on that left leg and step it up into your forward fold, deepening into the forward fold. And take it through to your lengthened spine. And back into your forward fold once again. Hands down onto the mat, and this time we're going to step it back into a plank. So step the legs right back nice and long. And then draw those shoulders over the wrists. Again, we want the hands active, actively pressing away from the mat, engaging the core. Keeping softness in the elbows. One more breath here. Plank is such a fantastic pose because it really works every part of your body, your shoulders, your arms, your core, your glutes and your legs. And then coming down onto your knees, open out the feet, keep the elbows in as you lower the chest down onto the mat. And then from here, let the forehead come down onto the mat and stretch the arms out nice and long for a nice full body stretch. And then when you're ready, drawing those hands back, either side of the chest. Rising up, we're going to come back up into our plank once again. So curling the toes, activate the hands, pushing yourself up into your plank. One more breath here. And then let's come down on the knees and feet, chest and belly. And this time we're going to push up into, first of all, a baby cobra. So soft, light with the hands. Draw the forehead and chest away. And then activate the hands and push on up into a nice full cobra, a nice deep back bend, looking forward. One more breath here. And then let's push back into a child's pose. One more breath here. And let's bring ourselves down onto the mat, lying down on your back for your final resting pose. And thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it and got something from it. Now it's time to relax and ease the body. Letting go your feet and your legs. Letting go your glutes and pelvis. The whole back of your body and shoulder blades. The front of your body, chest and shoulders. Letting go your arms and your hands, your head, face, jaw and chin, the whole of your body, just let it go. And take a little time here for gratitude. Gratitude to yourself for making the time to do this practice. And then let your attention go to your breath. As you inhale through your nose into your belly, pause, and then exhaling through your nose. And staying connected and focused on your breath for the next few minutes.